This weather report. United States and Canada, December 14, 2025. Current situation, United States. Today, Sunday, December 14, 2025. The United States is experiencing a complex and dynamic weather pattern. A powerful Arctic air mass continues to surge due south from Canada, ushering in a major cold snap over the northern and central portions of the country. This Arctic blast is producing frigid temperatures well below normal for this time of year, especially across the Midwest, Plains, and parts of the Northeast. BP News. While much of the U.S. contends with dangerously cold air, the Gulf Coast and parts of the South are seeing rapid temperature swings, with some regions experiencing unusually mild conditions early in the day, followed by sharp drops as the cold air arrives. This transition has prompted freeze watches overnight for areas like Southeast Texas. Houston Chronicle. Through across the Pacific Northwest, communities are still grappling with the aftermath of historic flooding triggered by an intense atmospheric river system that began in early December. Rivers have overflowed, roads remain blocked in some areas, and authorities continue to warn of mudslide risk and levee instability. AP News +1. Key weather themes. Arctic cold blast across northern central states. Dangerously low wind chill values. AP News. Freeze watches in southern regions, for example, Southeast Texas. Brief but notable cold impact. Houston Chronicle. Flood recovery and continuing hazards in Pacific Northwest states. AP News. Possible impacts on travel and infrastructure due to the mix of ice, cold, and lingering flood effects. Current situation. Canada is under severe winter conditions, with much of the country experiencing bitterly cold temperatures well below zero, particularly in the central and northern provinces. Clear skies in some regions contrast with dangerously frigid conditions that push wind chill values into extreme levels in Western Canada, especially in Alberta and nearby provinces. Meteorologists are reporting freezing rain, heavy snow, and frostbite risk for exposed skin, along with potential travel disruptions caused by slick, icy surfaces and low visibility. Global news. Across the Pacific Northwest and southwestern British Columbia, portions of Canada are tied directly to the ongoing flood disaster, with river systems overflowing and communities working to rebuild and evacuate at-risk areas. 3-day weather forecast. United States. December 14th to 16th, 2025, Sunday, December 14th, northern and central U.S. Extremely cold with risks for frostbite in exposed locations. Southern U.S. brief. Freeze event overnight, especially in Texas-Arkansas region. Houston Chronicle. Monday, December 15th, cold persists in the Midwest and Northeast, but temperatures begin to moderate slightly in the plains. Core western flood-impacted areas may see continued saturated conditions with potential rainfall or mountain snow. Tuesday, December 16th, a modest warming trend expected across much of the central U.S. as the Arctic plunge relaxes slightly. Travel conditions may improve, but pockets of freezing temperatures and icy roads remain a concern. Canada. December 14th to 16th, 2025, Sunday, December 14th. Severe cold continues. Much of Canada well below freezing with dangerously low wind chills. Monday, December 15th, more frigid conditions. Parts of central Canada could see further temperature drops overnight. Tuesday, December 16th, extreme cold remains entrenched over the northern interior, while the west battles heavy snow and ice risk. Major weather hazards and warnings. U.S. Pacific Northwest flood disaster. The 2025 Pacific Northwest floods, caused by an exceptionally strong atmospheric river, have already produced widespread flooding in Washington state, USA, and British Columbia, Canada. Rivers like the Nooksack and those in the Fraser Valley have overflowed, prompting large-scale evacuations and ongoing recovery efforts. Key hazard notes. Floodwaters remain high in some areas. The Guardian. Threat of mudslides and levee failure persists with further rainfall or snowmelt. AP News. Infrastructure damage and travel disruptions ongoing. Arctic air and freezing threats. Record-breaking cold has enveloped much of the northern U.S. and Canada, with life-threatening cold exposure risks if proper precautions aren't taken. AP News warnings include frostbite and hypothermia risk in northern states' provinces. AP News. Freeze watches for parts of the southern U.S., for example, Texas overnight. Houston Chronicle travel advisories for icy roads and winter hazards. Other notable events today. Meteor observers in parts of the northeast U.S. are tracking the Gemini meteor shower peak, but cloud cover and expected snow could hinder visibility. CT Insider. With Earth science context, meteorologists are increasingly observing more intense swings between warm and cold extremes across North America during winter months, driven in part by large-scale atmospheric patterns and climate variability. This often manifests as strong Arctic intrusions, followed by moderation phases, exactly what is being seen now. Academic studies on teleconnected extremes explain these patterns in detail.